Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are you today? I hope you're doing well so we can enjoy today's trip and get a lot of fun as well as get a lot of knowledge. I'm Belinda Avissa. You can call me Belinda. I'm here as your city tour guide, accompanied by David as our tour bus driver and also Julian as our tour co-bus driver. We'll take you and accompany you to our 6-hour trip to sing around Semarang. We will visit more or less about 4 tourism places in Semarang. So if you have anything to ask, just reach me on my phone number. You can call me or you can message me on 08155788889. Ladies and gentlemen, now we are going to our first stop. It is Masjid Jami Pekojan or Jami Pekojan Mosque. It is one of the oldest mosques in Semarang and has an essential role, especially in Islamic development in Semarang and as well as in Java Island. However, as we waiting for our arrival in our first stop, let me explain you a little bit about Semarang city. So Semarang is the capital city of Central Java, ladies and gentlemen, and it is also one of the biggest metropolitan city after Medan and Jakarta. Semarang city located in the middle of Java Island, so it has an essential role, especially for Java Island. It connects the city on the east side of Java Island to the cities in the west side of Java Island. There are 2 million of people who live in and work in here, and the most essential economic activities in Semarang are tourism activities, and also there are food and beverage. Also, there are logistic and maybe restaurant, hotels, and another accommodation. The words of Semarang or the name of Semarang was derived from the Javanese term. It is asam ing arang-arang, or the tamarind tree which grows rarely. It gives by and the Javanese figure back at that time due to the landscape and the environment of Semarang city back at that time. So in the past, the land of Semarang consists of the little island which is separated by the sea. However, after it is experienced some natural phenomenon, so it become one. It's become the one and get a little bit larger, and it is totally land, as we can see today. So back at that time, the land was also grown by mangrove tree. There were a lot of mangrove tree by that time in Semarang city, especially in the west side of Semarang. However, there are also a few of tamarind tree, but it grows rarely, like it grows after distant and a distance. So the Javanese figure back at that time gave the name of this land Asam Arang, and as the time goes by, people recognize it as Semarang. Semarang is led by the mayor and also his vice mayor. It is and the present mayor of Semarang is Mr. Hendra Priyadi, and his vice mayor is Mrs. Hernita, and they are still give the good service, especially to Semarang people until today. Semarang city not only consists of lowland, as you can see in here, but it is also consists of coastal area and also hills and mountain area. The coastal area, we can easily find it on the north side of Semarang. So there are a lot of beaches in north side of Semarang, while on the south side of Semarang we can find a lot of hills and mountains area there. So it's of course a little bit cooler than in here or even in the coastal area. Semarang city has a direct borderline with the Java Seas on the north and the district of Kendal on the west, and also district of Semarang on the south, and the last one is a district of Demak on the east. Semarang also has a various typical traditional food. One of them is lumpia. So lumpia is a traditional snack which become the popular snack from Semarang. So the history was began back at that time in the past. So lumpia is the food which created after has a cultural assimilation with the Chinese culture back at that time. So Chinese people in the past make a spring roll like snack which filled with the pork and the vegetables. However, because the majority of people in Semarang back at that time also are Muslims, so they do like some cultural assimilation and change the filling into something that halal, which Muslim people can eat it, like seafood, chicken, and maybe beef, and also completed with a bamboo sprout. And people enjoy it, usually not only by steam it or boil it, but they are also enjoy it by fried and lumpia. You can get lumpia from 3,000 rupiah to 25 rupiahs, depending on where you buy the lumpias. If you buy it in a traditional stall, it's cheaper than the one that you buy in the souvenir stores. Another is wedang tahu or wedang tofu. It is boiling water or boiled water which filled with the ginger and other spices, and also filled with tahu or tofu, and it is boiled until the boiled water become the red due to the ginger that also boiled together with the water and the tofu. You can buy it to make you feel warm or to warm your body, and you can get it from 8,000 rupiah to 15,000 rupiah, also depending from where you buy this beverage. If you buy it on the traditional stall, it's cheaper than the one that you buy on the restaurant or mall. Ladies and gentlemen, now I would like to explain to you about the bus that we use today. So we are use the Eurobus, which is used the latest types of Mercedes-Benz bus. So we are lucky to have it today as our bus to sing around Semarang, and it also equipped by 65 passenger seats. However, it's only filled from 35 to 45 passengers due to the COVID-19 restriction by giving gaps to one passengers and another. It also equipped by disinfectant spray and hand sanitizers, as well as a disposable mask. There are also a television on the front of the cabin and also on the middle of the cabin. It also has a MP3 player and also karaoke features. It also equipped by fire extinguisher and also bus glass breaker. And there are 4 doors on the bus, 2 on the front and 2 on the back. So the front right doors is only have to use by the driver, and the passengers door are on the left front side and on the back left side. So it's only required for the passengers. While we have one emergency doors is on the back right side, which we have to use and we only use only on emergency situation. Ladies and gentlemen, now we are arrived at Pekojan area. So Pekojan area is consists of was consists of various people back at that time. So there are Gujarati people who live in here. There are also Chinese and Japanese people who live in here. However, as the time goes by, people also come and go. So there are little bloodline. I mean, especially the Gujarati and Chinese people who live in here. And if we move a little bit forward, we can see the green Great Mosque. It is our first destination. It is Masjid Jami Pekojan or Jami Pekojan Mosque. So, as I told you before, ladies and gentlemen, Masjid Jami Pekojan is one of the oldest mosques in Semarang, which play an important and essential role in Islam development, especially in Semarang city. And as you can see here, the mosque has a different shade of green, and unlike the usual mosque that we see in the majority of the mosque in Semarang, it has a different shades of light green, which it represent the people who live in Pekojan area back at that time, which mostly consists of some Gujarati people, especially Pakistani bloodline. So it's also describe or represent the culture of Pakistan. And another Pakistani culture is the carving of moons and stars, and also another geometrical shape in the building. So in the mosque building. If we move a little bit inside, follow me please, we could see some grave, or you might call it as a little funeral. It is a grave of Islamic figures, which play an essential role also in Islamic development in Semarang city. However, the figures of male figures, grave was separated to female figures grave, because in Muslim beliefs, the males and females people cannot be gathered. Instead, or they have like blood, have a relationship like parents with the children, or it's a sister and brother. So if it has no family relationship of from one another, so it cannot be gathered. And as you can see here, also the grave of the Islamic figures is flattened on the earth, on the land, not only not like what you usually see on the Japanese funeral as usual, because it has been culturized with the Hinduism culture, which use a temple-like grave. So it's kind of a little bit higher from the land. However, the graves in here are following the Islamic rules, so it's only flattened on the land, and give us one board written the name of the figures who buried in there. The same thing also done with the female figures, which is the funeral located in the back side of this mosque. there are also the bidara tree. So it is the second one, which changed. And the first one was died a long time ago. So this is the new one, and the bidara tree has a really fragrant smell. However, some people recognize the mystical side of this tree, because the smells, and Japanese people use it, or Islamic people especially use it to as one of the flowers they use to shower the uh, body of the people who's already died before buried it. And if we move a little bit inside, we can see the some pillars, and also there are the big one, big drum-like things, which is called beduk. And the soko guru or pillars, as well as the beduk, is the old one and it's the original one, which is still well preserved in this mosque. And the beduk is usually used by people who has to give a sign, especially for Muslim people, that the prayer time is present. So they have to do prayer as soon as they can, or immediately. And as you can see here, the original size of the mosque is only on the back side of the mosque. However, after having some renovation, it's get larger, and also the funeral of female speakers moved to the back side of this mosque. However, the number of the grave was not that little, as we can see in here. So in the past, there are much of people who buried in here. However, the family was moved it to another places due to the government regulation back at that time. So there's only some Islamic figures who buried in here. However, the building, ladies and gentlemen, still well preserved, because the government and the people of Semarang try to protect and treat the mosque so it's look like new, and still get well preserved. Ladies and gentlemen, now we are on our next stop. It is Maroon Beach. So Maroon Beach was first being popular at 2007. There are a lot of people who come here until today, and in here you can all sit on the beach, or maybe you can swim, because Maroon Beach is popular with its calm waves. So for those youngers who wants to swim in here, it is allowed, because it's not really dangerous, but please keep being careful. However, for those who don't want to sit on the beach, or playing sand, or maybe swimming on the sea, you can have some walk a little bit forward to see the mangrove forest there, and get a little walk to sing around. And we will see the sunset in Maroon Beach. See you. Ladies and gentlemen, now we are going to our last stop. It is Pandanaran area and Simpang Lima area to buy some souvenirs and food. And if we see there on your right side, there are a monument. It's a Tugu Muda monument, which given by the first president of Indonesia. It is Mr. Sukarno, as a gift for to memorize the 5 days war of Semarang young people with the Japanese army back at that time. So it consists of three parts. It is the top and the body and the bottom. So the top of the monument was represent the fire of the spirit of the Semarang people back at that time to pretend the land, the Semarang land. And if you see a little bit on the bottom of the monument, there are some carving of the relief. It's told the story about the struggle of Semarang young people back at that time to pretend the Semarang land at that time. Ladies and gentlemen, now we are arrived at Pandanaran Street and Pandanaran area. If you want to buy some souvenirs, you can buy it in here. As I told you before, there are lumpia as the popular snack from Semarang. You can find it in here. There are some souvenirs like duriana, which is located on the front side, or if we cross the street, you can buy it in there also. And or maybe you want to find another souvenirs store to get the lumpias and another souvenirs. I will see you in a few minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming here on time. Now I would like to take you to a 5 to 15 minutes walk to our last stop. It is Simpang Lima area. So as we're waiting for our arrival there, I would like to explain to you a little bit about Pandanaran area and Simpang Lima area. So Pandanaran area, as you see, there are some hotels as well as also some souvenir shop, and there are also malls there. Since it is located between the busiest area of Semarang, it is Semarang Simpang Lima area, which consists of malls, another tourist attraction, as well as the government area of Central Java. And also, as we visited before, as we going through before, there are a Tugu Muda monument. It is also the busiest area since there are the Semarang governmental area there, and there are also some malls in Pemuda Street. So that's why we can find souvenir shops and hotels in here. Now we are at Simpang Lima area. So in Simpang Lima area, there are lots of tourist attraction in here. You can ride a bike or ride a pedicab like a bicycle, or you can just enjoy the view in here, or maybe you can go to one of two malls in here, or maybe you can visit the Baitur Rahman Mosque, and or maybe you want to buy some food to have a lunch. There are also some traditional stall beside the pedestrian street. There are some food court, you can find it there. I recommend you to buy the beverage that I told you before. It is a wedang tahu. You can find it easily in here, and I'm sure the price is not too expensive. Maybe it just take 10,000 rupiah in here, or maybe you can buy tahu gimbal in here, or maybe you can buy the fried rice. And I will see you again in a few minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming on the bus on time. Now we are already done our trip to sing around Semarang city. I hope you have a lot of fun and had a lot of new knowledge, have a new experience, and I hope you can enjoy the today's trip. Beside the some likeness that we have today, maybe from the service that give by our by luxury tour, or maybe give by the Europa store. If you have anything to say, especially about our service, you can give the direct message to our Instagram account at luxurytour.id for the tour service, or at eurobus.id for the bus service and equipment. Or maybe you prefer to directly message me or call me on my number, as I told you before, ladies and gentlemen. It's okay, you can say anything to me. So now we are arrived at our meeting point again. I hope you enjoy the 2 days trip, and make sure you always you clean up yourself after this, because your family health is everything. See you in another occasion, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much.